What up, Talkin Fight fans? Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of the Knuckle Up Knockout of the Week with yours truly, Mike Orr, and my special guest friend from Between the Ropes TV over in the UK, Ray. Ray, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining me. It is my birthday.
My pleasure, mate. My pleasure.
Yeah, definitely. And we got a big one. We got a big one. Honestly, big surprise. I thought it was going the distance. I didn't expect this outcome. And our man, Liam Smith, victimizing Chris Eubank Jr. in the fourth. Holy crow. Wow. Let's talk about it. What were your thoughts?
I was exactly the same as you. I thought it would go the distance. I tipped Liam Smith to win on points, as I said on my own channel. But when the fight unfolded, I was surprised. Even at the start, Liam Smith was winning the first two rounds. Chris Eubank got into it. But the way the fourth unfolded, Liam Smith, he basically saw an opportunity and he jumped on it. And the interesting thing about it was Liam Smith said in the build-up to the fight, in relation to Chris Eubank's fight against Liam Williams, if I hurt somebody and dropped them down 4 times, they're not going to see the final bell. And he was true to his word.
Yeah.
He saw an opening. Chris Eubank Jr. had a lazy jab. Liam Smith inched forward with his feet. He used his own ramrod jab. He kept his hands quite high up. He feinted as though he was going to go to the body, unleashed that left uppercut, then unleashed the left hook. The right hand came, and Chris Eubank Jr. was on a heap on the floor, and then, the right hand finished it off when he got back up.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was a very awesome exchange. He did totally capitalize on it. He saw that opening like a shark, man. A little bit of blood in the water, and he just pranced on him.
He smelled that blood, didn't he?
He smelled that from miles away, man. Honestly, Liam Smith surprised me. He looked real tight yesterday, really guarded. Like I said, when I was telling you before, I was on the phone with Tim Witherspoon, 2-time heavyweight champ of the world, right after this knockout. And let me tell you, he said the same thing. I'm always talking about defense. Defense. You see what happens when you got the fundamentals down properly? Bang. That's what happens. Tim was very impressed. I was super impressed. And like you were saying, Liam Smith is great across the plains. All across the plains. He doesn't excel in just one thing. He's not that flashy guy, but he is that guy that's going to go in there and get it done. He's a grinder. Like they say in hockey, right? You get those guys that grind. This guy grinds. He gets in there and he puts the work in and comes through with the victories, man. Huge explosive knockout from this guy. I got a couple clips. We're going to bring it up. We're going to look at it. We're going to see that shot and then that famous wobble walk.
Yeah.
It was good. Here we go. Definitely. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulty there. Excellent. Here we go. So this was the beginning here, man, and catches him in the corner.
And that's what I was meaning there, Mike. You see he's going to the body, and what he's doing is Chris Eubank Jr. is quite lazy in his defensive phase. What he's doing is he's trying to just pour out the jab, and you instead of using the jab as a firm weapon to keep Liam Smith off him, he's just firming it. Liam Smith's too strong for that. So when Liam Smith sees that coming, he inches forward with his feet and he's in range. And that's when he uses that feint as if he's going to go to the body. And by doing that, he's bringing Eubank's lead hand down, creating an opportunity for him. And then that's when he can go to Eubank's head. And that's when he saw him unload the shots to the head. By that time, Eubank wasn't in a position to bring his guard back to relay the rest of the shots, and that's when Liam Smith was able to land clean shots. And the first left hand was the one that did the damage. The rest was just a sitting duck.
Yeah, he was totally a sitting duck. Right after that uppercut too. This uppercut right here caught him clean. You could see in his eyes he was gone after that. It was a bombardment of shots, well timed, well placed. Definitely. Liam Smith took his time. He was calm. A lot of guys get, overzealous in situations like that. They smell that blood. They want to jump on it real quick. Liam Smith, what I like about this guy, he does got the, ring experience. He does have that, that age with him. He is in his 30s. He's able to, cool himself down in situations like that. And that's, you know, that's a big thing in situations like this. That's how you finish guys. You know, you can't finish guys if you're just as excited as the crowd is that you're knocking this guy out.
Exactly.
You got to sit down on your shots. You got to, you know, Chris Eubank Jr. is no joke. Like the man is a highly decorated fighter as well. So, you know, he's able to recover in certain situations if you get overzealous. And him being dangerous can throw shots from certain angles that could have ended that a certain way if it was somebody else.
Yeah.
Liam Smith, being as tight as he was last night with those big shots, he caught him. He caught him and, you know, kept catching him. And you can see it. He was, you know, here's that walk. here's the walk right here. Like, I don't even know where I am right now. I don't,
and that's the thing, Mike. I mean, I think Eubank Jr. probably got up a bit too early. I mean, I wondered if you thought that as well, because when he got up, his legs seemed to completely betray him. And for me, that's always a worrying sign.
He should have taken the full 8 on the knee and then stood up. Honestly, I think the outcome would have been a lot different if he would have done that. But I think there was too much in each other's head for that fight. You know, like the press conference, the weigh-in, you know, all the words that were exchanged in the beginning of this fight and everything leading up to it. You know, maybe it got inside Eubank's head a little, you know, because definitely Liam Smith, before that fight, every shot of the dressing room, the man was cool, collective, cold as ice, man, ready to play that game of chess. And definitely that's what happened. 4th round, finds that hole, finds that opportunity, capitalizing on it, and literally shows true veteran status by finishing the fight, man. You know what? He didn't leave it in the judge's hands. That's it. That's all she wrote. And that's why it's our winner of the week for the Knuckle Up Knockout of the week. Huge knockout. Massive card too.
Brilliant card. It was a brilliant card, Mike. There was about 3 or 4 50-50 fights on there, and then, you know, to top it off with that was just like, you know, as we see in the UK, putting the icing on the cake.
Oh, definitely. Shout out to our man Matty Harris on the opening of that card too. His big TKO with that big, nasty, like heavy ass right hand from that 6'9", 270 boy. Man, he made some noise. Definitely, he looked disappointed that he wasn't able to unleash more punishment in that fight, though. You know, it didn't go too. It didn't go too.
It didn't. But you know, the way he finished that, you definitely got to think this guy is going to be one to look out for as well. So it was good that he got that in front of a televised audience.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, I've watched this kid just at the end of his amateur career move into the the pros. Watching him on his first fight, I'm a fan of him. You know, definitely the kid. He's got potential. You know, he's got that big frame. He's got that super heavyweight status. You know what I mean? And when these giants are getting to that age, and we need more giants coming up underneath them, and we do have them.
We do.
That's huge. I can't wait. There's a big slew of heavyweights that are just donning that contender status that we will be seeing in the near future. I think it's going to be a big year for the heavyweight division 2023. You know, Matty Harris is going to be one of these kids to look out for. Magic Matty Harris.
That's the one. That's the
one. Magic Matty Harris. So what's the word in the UK with this rematch clause? Because, you know,
well, for Eubank Jr. and Liam Smith, from what I'm hearing over here, there's not much appetite for that rematch because it was so conclusive. I think also as well, it's a bit of a balance because the Smith family have been around for forever and a day.
They're one of those dynasty families, just like the Mayweathers. You know, they're a dynasty.
Exactly, they are. They're a dynasty family, and I think fighting in a football stadium where Liverpool Football Club play, Anfield, would be a fitting send off for Liam Smith. I'm not saying he's a fight or 2 fights away from retirement, but we'll bring him a lot of money, and it would be a nice way for Liverpool to show their appreciation for him. I just don't think. I think it's a hard fight to sell. Liam Smith, he blew away Eubank there. If it had been a close, contentious, controversial 12-round decision, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Because you can sell that one. Or if the knockout had been a bit controversial, premature, like Frost Groves won, again, fair enough. But it's really difficult to sell this one.
No. Yeah,
So
he did the wobble walk. He had the goosebump on his eye. You know, it was a definitive, decisive,
exactly,
concise,
exactly,
clear outcome.
exactly.
I don't think I could have put any more
Right.
adjectives in front of that. That was clear, concise win. There was no, you know what? There was no leaving it up to the judges. There was no biased opinion. There was nothing. That was two men entered the ring, and the best man won. That's exactly
Exactly.
what that was.
100%.
Pure representation of how the best man wins, man. Definitely huge, huge thing, man. I was super excited. Had me off my chair, man. Had me off my chair. Literally, I expected the grinder to show up, that guy that gets in there, grinds it out round after round, the chin of granite and just, going to that body just like how he does, man, punishing. But
For
then
12 rounds, because Liam Smith has also got a good chin as well as
yeah,
what Eubank has. So
yeah,
that's why another reason why I was thinking, I mean, neither guys are really known to be punchers.
right.
Both of them have got good chins. They both take body shots well.
Yeah,
So you would understand why, people were saying this is going to go to points, and people like me and yourself who watch a lot of boxing, know a lot about boxing, would
yeah,
automatically think it's going to go to points. But I was so surprised. But this is why it was such a good fight.
yeah,
Two relatively well matched boxers with very good. When you look at the resumes and who they fought, I mean, Eubank against Groves, the Gale.
yeah,
We know Liam Smith's been in there with Canelo,
yeah.
Jaime Munguia, people with good status and reputation in the game. So it was a good matchup, really good matchmaking.
Definitely. Who was the matchmaker for that event? I believe it
It was one of Ben Shalom's
yeah,
guys.
Ben Shalom
From
guys, right?
Boxer. Yeah.
Honestly, I've been super impressed with Shalom and his cards lately. He's definitely not afraid to put the guys together.
Mm.
Put them in the ring and get these guys to settle their differences. Uh, what's the word over there about boxer in the UK? Like, how they doing? Like,
Hey, that's a very good question, because as you're well aware, Mike, Eddie Hearn used to be on Sky, which
yeah,
is the platform that Ben Shalom and Boxer are on. So he had big shoes to fill, and there was
yeah,
a lot of expectation. But slowly but surely, he was winning people around. Don't get me wrong, the technical side, and what I mean by that is the production.
yeah.
Sometimes that might
Production value might be a little lower. Definitely,
yeah,
definitely a little lower.
the production needs a little bit of work
Right.
as compared to Eddie Hearn's shows. But at the end of the day, you watch boxing because of the quality of the cards and the quality of the fighters on the TV. And from that point of view, he's doing well. The production, I believe, will come with time.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
definitely,
the
definitely.
quality of the cards and the actual boxers on there. You got to remember, you had the all-female card last year.
Yeah.
And it got cancelled because of the passing of Queen Elizabeth. But then
Yes.
he scheduled it, and
Yeah.
he could have easily, had fighters pull out and what have
Yeah.
you. But they kept on, and it was fantastic. So
It
for
was. It was
me,
fantastic, and the introduction of the new Queen Elizabeth belt too, right, by the WBC. That was the
that's
introduction of that.
that's exactly it, which Clarissa Shields won. So
Yeah,
for me, I had him as my promoter of the year last year. I know a lot of
definitely.
people disagree, but I think he's sort of risen, and Sky is the biggest satellite TV platform in the UK, and
Yeah,
he's got his boxes on there. So yeah, he's doing very well indeed.
definitely. Especially putting together cards like he did last night.
Yeah,
Richard Rappaport, Ika Usman, Joseph Parker, Fraser Clark, Scott Forrest. Like what a mix of them.
serious names there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some serious names, and not even putting them against like tomato cans or anything like that.
That's
Like
exactly it, Mike. You hit the nail on the
true
head.
true contenders like Rappaport, Glowacki.
Mm,
We had Usman and Congo. What a great fight that was, man, for
mm.
the British welter Commonwealth. Jack Massey, Kevin Impinola. Like, wow. Fraser Clark looked pretty good last night.
Yeah, Fraser Clark. He's still a heavyweight prospect.
Yeah,
And people look at his age, but what I always say, he's a baby for heavyweight. And the
yeah,
great Tim Witherspoon will tell you that heavyweights can mature so much later on than the
yeah,
lower weights.
definitely.
And he's got good pedigree, as you guys have previewed him before,
Yeah,
coming from the Olympics.
yeah.
So it was another good win for him, and I'm expecting a big year for him. I
Me
really am.
too. Me too. He looked really good. He looked really impressive. looked well conditioned. Is how I was going to say it.
Mm.
Honestly, I like the way he was very calm in there. He didn't didn't look like a newbie, like a greenhorn. He's starting to come into his own. He's starting to realize his power. He's starting to find his distance. I find that with every fight, his ring IQ is just getting that much better, and that chin's staying a little more tucked nowadays that I've noticed, which is good. You got to worry about that with those heavyweights, man, when they're hanging that chin out there, and all it takes is one big shot, and it's over.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, what I have to talk about him: Joseph Parker, Jack Massey, unanimous decision win. If Parker was losing to Massey, I think that would have been it for him at this point. Where's he going from here? Where do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you, Mike. I don't think it was Joe Parker's best performance.
No.
He got the win. He got the win. He got the win on points. Had he lost that one, I don't know where he would have won, because Jack Massey, all due respect to him, he's a cruiserweight. I think he wins this now. Is he back in the mix? I wouldn't necessarily say so. I would still say there's some people above Joe Parker, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz. I understand PBC are arranging negotiations for that fight. Just don't forget there's Joe Joyce as well, Mike. Joe Joyce is in that mix. So I think there's 2 or 3 people above Joseph Parker. I think that the loss against Joe Joyce is put him back considerably. So I think he probably needs maybe another fight or 2 to get back into that mix. But he can only beat who's in front of him, and he did that last night.
A couple warm-up fights before he gets back in there. It'd be great to see. Joe Joyce seems to be the most avoided guy this year. Yeah. I guess high risk, low reward is the rumors and what's being said over there. Like, really, if you think about it, there, what does he have to offer at the moment? There is not really big reward, and he is high risk, man. The guy does have, he showed that in that Parker fight. He took those big hands and just kept coming through it. The thing with Joyce, I'm finding, is what scares everybody is his gas tank. He's got that unbeatable gas tank. He can go the 12 rounds. At the end of it, still look like he can go another 12. Guy barely breaks a sweat. And when he does move, he moves quick, right? He's not so much graceful, but he's got speed, and that's got to be from that explosiveness from the rugby from the time he's 3 years old, right? Like, that's just bred into him.
Yeah, and I'd probably say as well as having that, because he's like a juggernaut. He just keeps on coming forward. He doesn't stop. He's got a great chin. He's an athlete as well. He can do backflips. He's like last. But it's that ramrod jab he's got, Mike.
Yeah, man.
And he's just like, you can imagine the problem you've got sparring with him when you've all got big gloves and a headset. He's a problem that's not going to go away. He's like a bad smell. He just can't get rid of it.
He's getting trapped in an elevator when somebody farts. You know what I mean? Like, that's exactly what it is. You ain't getting away from him. You can't
get away from that, bro. You can't get away from that. So
because he fully comes in and he swarms you, and he's just so big that he engulfs you like almost like an eclipse.
And you can't keep him off. You can't keep him off. So I think there's very few people that can have success against somebody like Joe Joyce. Very few people. So you're right. He's a problem for a lot of the heavyweights.
Yeah, big problem. Big problem. We got to find somebody who's got that hand, man. That hand that's just going to connect with that chin, right? Because, Parker's no joke with that big hand. He's put a lot of people out with those hands.
He has. But you couldn't touch Joe Joyce.
You couldn't touch him. It's it's just one of those things. He's a big problem in the heavyweight division. Somebody's going to have to solve that problem, or he's going to have to put a belt on his waist. It's one or the other. It's going to happen eventually, because there's no way they can wait for him to age out at this point. Like, I know he's old. I know, people could think that, but let's be real, man. Eventually, he's going to be the number one contender. He's going to be the number one contender for one of these belts. it's going to happen. We're going to see it.
He is,
yeah,
without a doubt. And I guess we'll have to wait until Fury and Usyk have that fight.
Definitely.
See what they do about the belts after that. But Joe Joyce is definitely in that mix. Definitely 100%.
Oh, 100%. Well, Ray, honestly, thank you for joining me today for this Knuckle Up Knockout of the Week, man. Between the Ropes TV, guys, if you haven't checked it out, man, Ray is on there all the time. Great interviews, great conversation. Definitely know what you're talking about over there. Man, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you for helping me pick this wonderful knockout here, this Liam Smith victimizing Chris Eubank and putting it to bed, folks. The clear, concise winner. There is no rematch. Don't worry about it. Even though the clause is there, the rumors are telling it already in the UK. It ain't happening because nobody wants to see it. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Knuckle Up Knockout of the Week. Ray, thank you again for joining me, man. Always a pleasure. Let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find this on Twitter, Between the Ropes 01. You can find us on Instagram on Between the Ropes TV. We've got a Facebook page, Between the Ropes TV. And you can find us on YouTube as well, Between the Ropes TV.
Excellent. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. You know what it is. You know what I say, man. Fighting solves everything. And, guys, remember, knuckle up. We'll see you next week.